We answered a lot of COVID vaccine questions in our previous episode. Please look for it if you wish to hear more. Today, we'll do some updates. Warren, do you want to do the question and answer format again?
Sure, Dad. How many people have been vaccinated in the U.S.?
So far, only Moderna and Pfizer vaccines are approved by the FDA in the U.S. Both require 2 doses. At the end of January 2021, around 1.6% of the U.S. population have received both doses, and around 7.2% received at least 1 dose. Around the world, Israel has moved with the fastest speed. At the end of January, 1 in 3 Israeli have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. Early data shows a significant drop in infection in Israelis who are vaccinated. Only 0.04% of them caught the virus a week after the second shot, and 0.002% needed a hospital treatment.
What's new on vaccine studies?
As of February 5th, 2021, there are over 150 vaccines against COVID being studied, and 67 are in clinical trials. Out of those, 12 vaccines are in phase 3 clinical trials. They're our main hope. 4 of the 12 are whole virus vaccines. The remaining 8 have similar targets, the spike proteins on COVID. Johnson & Johnson's single-shot vaccine showed 66% efficacy in a global trial, but 85% efficacy against severe disease. Novavax's vaccine showed an overall efficacy of around 90%. Both are lower than the 94 and 95% of Moderna's and Pfizer's vaccines. But the comparison is a bit unfair, because Moderna's and Pfizer's vaccine trials were done earlier, when none of the COVID variants were playing a big role. We now have multiple variants, like the South African, Brazilian, and UK strains. Also, how different companies measure effectiveness also varied. Things like the average age of study subjects can also affect outcomes, so we must be careful in comparing them. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine was 72% protective in the US, but only 57% protective in South Africa and 66% protective in South America. This may very well be a result of the COVID variants in each region. Pfizer and Moderna are both reformulating their vaccines for a possible booster shot for the South African variant. But the Brazilian variant, which is the newest one, seems to be the most worrisome. It spread extremely quickly in the population in Manaus, where 75% of the population was already thought to have been infected with the original COVID-19 strain in 2020. Both the Brazilian and South African variants seem to have mutations in the spike protein, which is the target for a lot of vaccines. In Novavax's clinical trials, its vaccine has an efficacy of 95.6% against the original strain of COVID, but efficacy drops to below 60% against the South African variant. Pfizer's CEO said there's a high possibility the current vaccines will be less effective against future variants. So we may end up in a flu vaccine-like situation, where researchers and manufacturers are in a constant race against viral mutations. In order to accomplish that, Pfizer says it's working hard to ensure it can produce high-efficacy vaccines in 100 days or less. In terms of speed of development, mRNA technology actually has an advantage over traditional methods. Manufacturers already have the lipid nanoparticles, which are carriers for the mRNA. All they need to do is change the mRNA sequence inside the nanoparticle each time, and they end up with a new vaccine. This can be done quickly. It's like having an army of trucks available, and each time you only need to load new cargoes as required. For those of you who are new to the channel, please watch our episode on vaccine history and making if you want to hear more about them.
What are the advantages of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine?
Johnson & Johnson uses the viral vector technology, which has been used effectively many times before. It's also just 1 shot instead of 2. The main advantage of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is in storage. It doesn't require a very cold temperature. For comparison, Moderna's must be shipped at -4 degrees Fahrenheit, and Pfizer's at -94 degrees Fahrenheit.
How about Russia's Sputnik vaccine?
Sputnik vaccine also uses viral vector technology, similar to Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca's. Russia approved its vaccine in August based on testing result of only 38 people. Now we finally have the data from phase 3 clinical trials based on around 15,000 people. Current data shows the Sputnik vaccine to be 92% effective in preventing COVID-19. It's given in 2 doses, just like Pfizer's and Moderna's vaccines.
Why do we need 2 doses for the vaccines?
As with many things, the key in training our immune system is repetition. You can think of it as our immune system taking the spike protein more seriously when it sees it for the second time. As a result, it will spend more effort in memorizing what the virus looks like, so it can play better defense next time.
How can we find where vaccines are offered?
Currently, each state has its own guidelines on who can and cannot receive the vaccines. In California, a useful website is vaccinateca.com. Once you enter your zip code, it'll show you which locations near you are offering the vaccines and the criteria to qualify. In other states, there are similar programs. Also, the federal government will send 1 million vaccine doses to 6,500 retail pharmacies on February 11. Soon, people should be able to receive vaccines at CVS or Walgreens.
How does the immunity from vaccines compare to the natural immunity from being infected by COVID-19?
Getting 2 doses of the vaccine exposes your body to the spike protein twice in a short period. Most experts think this creates a bigger and longer-lasting immune response compared to the exposure to COVID-19. This is why, even if you already had COVID-19, you're still recommended to get the vaccines.
Will anything good come out of all this?
Historically, the biggest medical advances are often propelled by wars or other huge disasters. COVID may just do that. For instance, the lipid nanoparticle technology used in mRNA vaccines may be used for cancer treatment in the future. Okay, that's it for today. Please help our channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. You can also turn on the notification bell if you want more updates on COVID in the future. Thank you for watching.
Here's my joke of the day. Why was 6 afraid of 7? I'll give you some time to think about it. 3, 2, 1. Because 7, 8, 9. Get it? 7, 8, 9. Thank you for watching. Please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons below. You can turn on the notification bell if you wish to be notified when our next video comes out. Thanks!